Hi everyone, the topic of this video is going to be Age of Empires 4 and how can we improve the game, and my thoughts about what this game is lacking, and how can it maybe be fixed, because the viewership of this game has really dropped on several platforms, and the player base, even though they kind of like increase the scope of like the players you can get matched up with. I think it's kind of slowly dwindling. I'll pop some of the graphs for you. I really hope this video is gonna display all of my thoughts about the game, and I really prepared this video, man. Hopefully it's gonna be my best YouTube video. Not that I've been really great on YouTube. I barely know how to edit videos, but I really put a lot of thoughts into it. Let's just jump straight into it. So what I'm gonna do is divide these issues and the problems that I identified in three categories. So the first problem with this game, and my biggest gripe with the game by far, this is like non-negotiable, the biggest gripe that I had with this game, and the reason I can't really enjoy this game, is because all the units, I would say most of the units, look really alike. So let me break this down. So RTS games are games where you should use your strategic and tactical thinking and your big brain actually to outplay your opponent. But the issue is you cannot like quickly recognize if you have just a snap look at the opponent's army, just snap. If you like some of you maybe walk out of the stealth forest, you just snap see them. It's really hard to assess the opponent's units. Also, when you have a big group of units like crossbows, spearmen, and archers, depending on the age, they really look alike. So when they did big blob, you cannot really tell which one is which. And I even got a new monitor. It's the Dell S2721 DGF, and it's a 27 IPS panel. It's a really good gaming monitor, and I actually switched it out just for this game. Just for this game, I made my BenQ 24-inch older TN panel. My secondary monitor and my Dell, the new monitor. It's a really good monitor. It displays all the content very well, but still I cannot really tell the difference between units. Even with high res, it's like 4040p. And this is the first game I ever played in 4040p just to try it if I can somehow tell the difference between units, and I still can't if they're in a big blob. And when I started playing, I couldn't really tell the difference between scouts, horsemen, and knights, but now I really can't really make a mistake. It's pretty easy to tell the difference between them, and obviously like the Rus monks, it's extremely easy. You can't really like make a difference, like, you know, the difference is actually easy to make out between them. But when you have a big blob of archer spears and crossbows, it's hard. Men-at-arms also, some men-at-arms kind of distinguish themselves, like the French men-at-arms. So even Mangonels and Bobards look alike. When they're like not shooting or not deployed, they actually look alike to me a little bit. When you, it depends on the position. If they're like around the keep with a lot of units around, you can't even like make you know, a bad assessment of them too, almost. You know, also another thing that's like even worse than this is that like all ships look alike. All Rus ships look alike. So I'm gonna pop the screenshot from my game. Yesterday I played around midnight, and I played opposite with the Rus Sonagari, and you can tell just by looking at this picture that like Rus ships, you cannot tell if they're like fishing ships, attack ships, demo ships. Obviously there are some slight differences, but most of the units are also dhows and like fishing ships. Obviously Zebex and Baglas you can kind of like distinguish very easily, but like all of these have same model. They just like have different sails, which is really stupid. Like honestly, you can't really tell the difference. And I'm a top 200 something player. I topped around 220 on the global ladder, and I'm floating around top 300. I'm in the top 300 for the last 2 months, I would say. And obviously, probably like even a better players would abuse it even more. But I think maybe once it happened that I didn't really like pick up on the demo ship, it just exploded all my shit. Usually it's like you don't even pay attention and they hit you, or it's a big fight you can't really avoid it, you're trying to kite. But like when you have fishing ships and like they all come at you, it's really hard to identify demo ships. Like it's incredibly hard to actually spot out the demo ships, which are the biggest threat. And it's like really weird, honestly. When they're mixed up with other ships, it's really hard to see. And I don't even try to micro ships anymore by like looking at them. I just like select them, like box select, and then just control click on whatever I want. Like I don't even try to like click individual units or whatever because I can't tell the difference. I literally cannot tell the difference because they're exact same model. So I'm gonna show you the games between. Here I'm gonna pop out random StarCraft and random Age of Mythology stream, so you can tell that all the units look totally different. Like you cannot make bad assassin and mistake a Protoss unit for a Terran unit. You can't mix Marine with Zealot or something. Or Age of Mythology, obviously you have like human soldiers and obviously meat units. But even the human soldiers, you can mix Toxotes with like I don't know. Like I don't fucking know, Hopless or something. They don't look alike at all, and I do understand. Oh, now more. Are you fucking blind or what? Like the Age of Empires is zoomed out. It is zoomed out, guys. And Age of Empires 4 compared to the great games like StarCraft, like Warcraft of the past, right? Comparatively, you have more units. Because, for example, in StarCraft, you have units that take more pop, like Immortals, Colossus, and this or that. Like, they take more pop. Same for Warcraft, same for Age of Mythology. In Warcraft, you have units who take up like 6 pop, right? Like, out of 200. But here, most units are 1 pop, except like, let's say, obviously disregard ships, but like the Siege are 3 pop, right? Like, so the older games that I will give it to you, like they are more zoomed in, but like it's very very easy to actually like tell the difference between like between units. It's extremely easy. And guys, I did have my eyes checked. I have 0 eye pressure, 0 eye dioptry or whatever, and it's a miracle, guys. I've been blessed, boys. Like I from 7-8 years old, I've been playing games till like now, like non-stop. I don't know how. Like I don't have any issues with my eyes. Nobody ever suggested glasses to me, and the doctor, she told me like and that was like half a year ago. She never like saw eyes not like fucked up at all. Like I don't have any issues with my eyes, and that's a miracle, man. So I'm thinking maybe I'm insane or what, that I can't tell this difference between ships, but I can also tell that like the mega top players like me, Statista, they just like box select the units really fast, like, and like check what the opponent has. Sometimes you can assess it, and I talked to some top players like Mista. Stop by my stream over on Twitch. Make sure to follow me there if you wanna see more content, see me lose, see me rage, or like see my new strats. He told me that he doesn't really micro. Early, you can tell they micro a lot of shit. So, for example, the micro between like archers, spearmen, and horsemen, all three like kind of counter each other, is really fun in the beginning. But later on, you can't really micro in fights. You can take man at arms and like or horsemen and just go around and hit their mangoes while you fight with your kind of like you just like aim over the rest of your troops, and then you only kind of micro your siege. And that's what like Mista told me, that's what Eric told me. Eric, guys, if you don't know, he's a really good player. He played against Marine Lord a hat. He's the guy who first knocked me out at the first Age of Empires tournament I ever played. He was the one who knocked me out. He's a very good player for you guys who don't know. And he also told me you can't really micro in these battles. Like you can only micro siege, right, in big battles later on. And I'm not saying there isn't many things to do in this game. There's a lot of things to macro, to like place a lot of buildings and this and that. So there is a lot of things you can do. I'm not saying that, but like in fights themselves later on, there isn't that much you can do to change the outcome of the fight. Okay, so we're going to my second issue, the second point. So the second issue is like the general gameplay and the flow of the game. I can't really like put it in any other way, and I'm gonna have multiple points in this. So first one, I can't really describe it, but you will understand what I want to say. The game is so touchy, it's so sensitive. Wheels don't want to listen when they place walls. So, and many structures, but mostly walls. And I have like read a lot of posts. I have like listened to some people. I hold shift when I place walls, but many times the most crucial segments are not built, guys. The most crucial segments are not really built. And it can lose you the game on the spot, right? If you think something is walled off and they haven't even like transitioned from one wall segment to the other, and it happens for buildings too. And I swear I place it correctly. So for example, if a villa is on wood, you gotta press like, okay, I wanna place a house, like QQ, place the first house, then shift, and then you place the other houses. So if you obviously like press shift immediately, he will not even like stop his like initial work, aka like chopping wood. So you got to do it in an order. But many times in this game, especially with walls and certain structures, it just doesn't work. Like sometimes they don't want to place docks. I don't know what's going on, and I can't put my finger on it. But they just don't. You have to babysit everything, and that's like really annoying because like you have a lot of things to do in this game, and it's not really an issue, but like it's really annoying to like have to like check your troops if they're walking like the right path this way, not like looping out some invisible hill or something, and the enemy just like kind of like crushes all your siege. Like you have to babysit too many things. You gotta double check if Wills finish the wall segments, and in every game that actually has walls, like Age of Mythology also, and that's the game who I played with my father like 2004, 2005. It's like eons ago, like many years ago, and in every game like that, it's always like very, very close if the wall segments touch and it's really walled off or not. And you can tell that with the shifty size from Egyptians when they like shift something in. And I just this year started watching Age of Mythology first time in my life. I played it in LAN at Islam when I was literally a kid, and I never really got into watching it. It's a beautiful game to watch, and there is also some issues there with like walling. So I get that, but the game is like 20 years old, and still it looks like kind of like in my eyes, it looks better than this game regarding visibility. I don't know what is it about it, but like I tried every setting and I still cannot really make ships different from each other except sails. So um, like also another thing, siege units don't really listen. Like they don't really listen to commands. We know mangoes are bugged. They're gonna fix that. So also I'm not gonna talk about like how you cannot transition back to water. Now they fix that with like the buff to siege. You can actually come back to that like part of the game, to that like specter of the game, the sea battles. You can actually come back. Before you couldn't even, like, if you lose water it was like pretty much done, because they're gonna have the fish boom over you, and they're just gonna control the water for the rest of the game, right? But now you kind of come back, so we're gonna disregard that. But siege doesn't really listen, like especially mangoes, which we do know. You gotta like, I always like target ground with them. Like for example, if you wanna hit wheels, like I don't wanna like really take gamble if they're gonna actually, if they're actually in range to like fire immediately and do the order you give them, or they're gonna walk in and just like stop. But also bombards, many times they're just gonna be AFK, they're just gonna be undeployed and not even shoot at what you order them. So siege also don't listen. Another thing that I think kind of, I don't know how to fix this, but like I think what like destroys the flow of the game is kind of stone walls. I think stone walls are way too powerful. When you hit them in second age, even in early third age, it's so difficult to destroy them for such a small investment in general resource. I do understand that a stone is something you're not gonna like mine that much in a regular game, but like for that much of an investment, it's like way too powerful. It just locks you out of the section of the map. It is, I think, way too powerful. Like I don't know how to solve this. In no RTS game that I know has the cost of the stone or whatever increased as you place more walls. I think that would be a really bad solution. But I don't know if they their health needs to be decreased or something. I think they just like destroy the flow of the game. Like if you just place a stone wall in the certain position, certain maps, it's just like way too powerful for like second age or even early third age. It's like way too powerful. Also, I think like keeps are very strong for 800 resources, and I do understand it's their role to do that, but especially when you can like totally like lock down a portion of a map, it's like way too powerful. I think there needs to be like a fourth age like research that's like dirt cheap, like 25 gold, 75 stone or something like that, that decrease their health from like 3.5 or like 4k to like 5k, which is their normal health. I think they're way too powerful, and just like place them down and just, let's say, research the bowling wall. The opponent can never push. If you have some springs and like pretty much like some crossbows or like any sort of infantry blob, the opponent will never be able to push you, man. Like ever. Like um, unless he has like a huge military advantage over you. So those are the one of the things that I kind of think like destroy the flow of the game itself, and most of it is like the sensitivity of it all. Like you really have to babysit a lot of things. Like and it's like kind of like a professional deformation. If you do a lot of if you play a lot of games, you kind of get used to it. But I don't remember like having to babysit things, even in like early Wings of Liberty. And I was the first one in my country who bought StarCraft. I fucking love that game. I haven't played it in years for my own reasons, like I really love that game. It's like everything RTS should be. But even in the early Wings of Liberty, like even the beta days, like when Terran was like kind of overpowered, I never thought the game, even though I played TOS and like I was getting cutty with MM all the time. Like um back then when my Marauders could really slow and this or that, like I never thought the game didn't do what I kind of ordered them to do. Like there were some balance issues, not even that big, and this game is pretty balanced, honestly. Like when you think about it, it's really balanced. Like no matter whatever it says, I think the balance is pretty good. We're gonna get to some other things in the third point that I think are like very like grand in this game that I think are the issues. I don't think that can be really fixed, but I never thought in StarCraft that the game was kind of like not listening to me, or like the like I don't know, like I never felt like the game wasn't really listening to the commands you order it. Okay, so the third point that I wanna make are multiple things, but I just like sum them up to be like general things and kinda like how they vision the game. So first of all, like maps pretty much suck. And that's not my first issue with the game. My first issue is definitely that the units look alike. And pretty much when I thought about it, I definitely underestimated this issue. Only lately have I thought what makes me really not enjoy the game. And it is the maps. The maps kind of suck. Nagari, Altai, all of these maps are really weird. So if you have, I don't know if I ever enjoyed a map on Nagari or like Danube River. These are maps that like just play awkward, and it's mostly because of the water. The hybrid maps, they just play really awkward. And like in general, the maps in this game, let's be honest here, guys, even in different games, in like Modern Warfare 2, there's some like great maps that we remember. They're great, like even in RPG games, they're great areas that we remember. Like there are great maps. Even if you look at the game like Warcraft, there are great maps that are very well balanced and kind of like make sense. But here, like we don't have in general great maps, and it is an issue. For example, the other day, like maybe a week ago, a little bit less, I got a map on Mountain Pass, 5 relics on Delhi side, 0 on mine. How am I supposed to read that? Like the map is split, and it's easy to split with some walls. The guy didn't even split it, but how am I supposed to play if he just rush H3 kind of defense a little bit? Just rush H3, he's gonna get all the relics. Plus he can get the second side, at least his. And then like yesterday, I had a game against HRE, he had 4 relics on his side, literally like tucked on his side of the map, I had 1. That's pretty much an unwinnable game. Unless you like kill him feudal age, how are you gonna win? It's impossible to win, pretty much. So these are the issues that they can't fix. I'm kind of like against like randomness in RTS maps, and like obviously I haven't played Age of Empires before. If you don't know, guys, I played like different games like StarCraft, Warcraft, obviously like Command and Conquer. And if you look at some maps, some games, excuse me, I played recently Command and Conquer Tibino Wars. I didn't even stream it in case threat, obviously. And that game, for a very old game, plays beautifully. It's a great RTS game, so fast paced, so great. Like for such a older game that isn't even supported anymore, it plays great. And this game is so weird with the maps. And another thing I want to tell is, game hasn't even been figured out. Like, to be perfectly honest with you, the game is still new. No, I don't even claim that I know everything. Nobody knows everything. But you can watch in this game, you kind of predict what the player will do, right? So it's very easy to predict. You don't have that many options. You do have options, and you can play your opponent, no doubt about it. But like, I think the thing is, all the factions are similar. So if you look at a game like Warcraft, none of the factions play alike. Undead, human don't play alike. You play one base, I guess, 2 base, kind of like trying to wall off its structures, things like that. StarCraft, totally different races. Here you have pretty much factions that are all similar. They have slight bonuses. For example, Abbasid wants to TC boom, 2 TC boom, and for example, Rus, you want to play 1 TC fast castle, like most of the time, just go for the relics and go for pro scouts, right? That's pretty much the game flow, right? With Abbasid, you don't go pro scouts because you have the fresh food stuff. No need for that. You can go for berries and things like that. So it's really, really like similar. So you don't have that many options. And I'm never advocate of like introducing new units to the game. I don't think it improves the games most of the time. But here, I don't know if you're liking new units or new factions. Obviously, they're gonna add more factions eventually, but I don't even know. Like, it's really easy to predict what the players will do, and I think the game flow is really predictable. And it's not that hard to predict who will win if you see the position. Obviously, the players themselves can see the position, but you don't have that many options. Now that we like kind of not really, I'm certainly right now in the game are things that are totally broken and are not really being abused yet. I'm not even talking about like 3 stone wall segments with like the tower in it, but in general, the game is not that fun to watch. I would rather watch like an Age of Mythology game than an Age of Empires game. Even though I've been playing this, I haven't played Age of Mythology in like 16 years, 17 years, 16 years, let's say. Like, it's just not that fun to watch. So these are the reasons that the popularity of the game is declining. And please don't take this as like a huge rant. I really, really, really want this game to work. I really want it to be the great game that I think it can be. But I think these are things that maybe one day can reach developers, or like I'm certain that I'm not the first guy who like ported these things out. There'll be millions before me, probably like listing out better than me. But like I wish really great things on the game, and I hope you have taken something from this video. Let me know in the comments below. I definitely missed some things. What are your thoughts? What did I miss that the game can be improved on? And that's pretty much it. Love you, boys and girls. I'm out.